There are some short films that leave you laughing, that leave you emotional, and then there are some short films that make you say, what the Welcome to the Film Threat Podcast. I am Chris Gore. I hope you are having a good day today. It's yet another Blur's Day in lockdown land. That's where we all live. We live in lockdown land now. But the best part about lockdown land is it gives us all the time to fully appreciate all the amazing films you can see online, especially at film festivals. There's a lot of short films that are available to see at film festivals. And I'm, of course, taking advantage of my time in lockdown land. I need to talk to you about this short film that is completely unclassifiable. Yes. Is it a comedy? Yes. Is it a bit of science fiction? Yes. Does it feature performances by two amazing actors? Absolutely. Let's bring on the director, Sean Sakamoto, and let's introduce the cast. Richard Kind. I'm well familiar with your work. And Skipp, thank you so much for joining us on the Film Threat Podcast. I got to ask Sean, from whence did this concept come? It's one of those, it's so well written because there are so many layers and things going on. There's so much backstory. And in 12-minute span, you get through so many deep layers between these two men trapped in a room. I don't want to ruin too much of it, but there's layers upon layers. Where did this concept come from, and then how did you bring these two gentlemen to be involved?
Well, great question. Thanks. I guess the idea was first came into my head when I was sitting in my living room watching the Nazis with torches surrounding Charlottesville, chanting Nazi slogans. And my grandparents were German, and I was raised with this idea that I had to be vigilant against dark social forces. And I had a really simplistic view of history, and I always thought, yeah, well, I'm not a Nazi. If the Nazis came to power in Germany, I know what I'd do. I'd be a good guy. And then here I was in a moment where I felt like bad things were happening, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, actually, I don't actually know what to do. And so I thought, how can I express this? I'm a writer. Maybe what I need to do is explore this artistically. So I tried to think, how can I encapsulate this dilemma of there being no right answers and no wrong answers, or this enigma or this dilemma? How do I put this into two different characters? How do I make each decision equally unreasonable and reasonable at the same time? And so I came up with Robert and Gary. One is more live in the moment. The other one is a man of action. One is more of a pacifist. The other one's more of a fighter. And I tried to make it so they both had valid points of view and a lot to talk about. And then I put them in a room with some pretty heightened stakes because there's bombs going off. And then I had the very good fortune of meeting Rich. He was introduced to me by Michael Giacchino. We had dinner together. We had a great time. He was kind enough to read the script and agreed to do it. Skipp came on board, fortunately, because he was absolutely perfect for Gary. And then my job was to get out of the way and let these two really talented men take it from there and act, because I didn't, once they got together and they got the script, I felt my role was to really just let them work.
And it's for Skipp and Richard, you really had a lot to work with. Sure.
My microphone is.
I'm having a little audio problems too.
I wonder if it's because I'm not on Wi-Fi.
Oh, well, pop on your iPad. Just drop off and come back on. Drop off and come back on, Richard. Okay. Cool.
Yes,
All right. Just come right back. Use the same link. These kind of things happen. When you're doing.
It's just like MSNBC.
Yeah, exactly. It's everything. Yeah, it's so funny. All this big production value for all these news organizations, and everything is a Zoom call now. This is the age we're living in now. I think Richard is back. Let's talk to him. Richard, are you back?
I am, but the microphone is still bad.
It's
now it's not.
Okay. I think we can move it.
Looks like it's better.
Yeah, it seems like it's better. But one of the fun things I found interesting was not just the dialogue, the story, and whatnot, but also the this bowl of strawberries that plays like a big part. Can you talk about that, Richard? Try to sign on your iPad, and I'll bring you back. Okay, this is good. It's not look. This is not just a show telling you about movies. We're solving technical issues
That's
that
right.
we're all experiencing. This is the first 10 minutes of every Zoom call I've ever been on has been a solving of the technical issues. It's just that's just the way it is. But Skip, like that, there's this interplay between you and Richard where you're, working with the strawberries and whatnot. Can you talk a little bit about that?
The interplay where we're working with the strawberries.
Yeah, the strawberries are kind of a big part of that scene. Wait, I think we have Richard back.
Yeah, we're just want to ask that again, Chris. So Rich can hear it.
Sure. What?
I like that feeling.
Yeah. It's
The strawberry.
we want laundry in the background. Sometimes there's laundry in the background for these things, but no, just like the strawberries mean something. It's sort of the essence of life. There's a discussion about the strawberries. It's this, the way that the bowl is being used, and like it's I don't know. It's just I felt like it's almost like to me a timer, like I don't know. I just thought that was very clever. I think we've lost Richard.
It's an astonishing. Hearing you talk about it as a viewer triggers a lot of things that I didn't necessarily think about while we were playing it, but that I did realize when we saw it. When we saw it, the finished product, and when you see the finished product, you realize, because as an actor, they were practical, and then they became, they expanded in terms of their meaning and metaphor, and the ways in which we connected to them beyond the literal as the story went on, if that makes sense. Sean, does that make sense?
Yeah, there's a moment, Skipp, there's the moment in the film when Skip's character, Gary, takes a bite of a strawberry. And I didn't give any direction there. I was just, Skipp really knows what he's doing. And it never would have occurred to me. But Skipp grabs the strawberry, and I thought it would be sort of a contemplative moment where he bites the strawberry and thinks about it. And instead, Skipp grabs the strawberry and he just eats it like an animal. And it was an amazing choice, and it never would have occurred to me. And I thought Skipp, as Gary, knew how Gary would eat a strawberry better than I did, and made it happen. And I think that moment when he decided, I'm gonna wolf this strawberry down, I'm gonna dig into it, was the perfect sort of it was a perfect moment for what the film was.
I really have to give credit to Richard there, because it's Richard's character. Sort of he's the one that sort of delivers. His character delivers my character to the moment of wanting to fully taste and enjoy the strawberry. So it's all that whole, it became very emotional, but it was completely from the interplay between me and Richard.
Richard has this little cry smile at the end, where he's smiling and kind of almost crying at the same time, and it's an incredible thing that you did with your face, Richard. It was amazing. It's amazing.
John, it was all calculated.
All planned.
I've said it to Sean and Skipp. Everything was in the script, and I didn't know it when I first read it. And it's when we read it out loud and Skipp and I started rehearsing it that I found out what was there. And it's a testament to the script in that it isn't so, as you say, it's how do you define it all? Is it a comedy? Is it science fiction? What is it? It's just two guys talking in a situation that I didn't at first understand, and then as we talked, I did. I found out what it was all about. And it's great. It's why I love. Sometimes it's why I like doing certain pieces better than others. You do a situation comedy, you know exactly what you're in for. You do an hour drama that's been on for 3, 4, 5 years. You know exactly what's happening. But going to another world, finding out these people, what the director has in mind, how do we interpret it, that's a challenge. And this was really a challenge. It was fun.
Well, it's I mean, first of all, it's available to see, right? Is that right?
I think the next chance to see it will be, I believe, at the San Jose Short Film Festival. They're gonna have a website. I think you'll be able to see it there.
And I'm assuming at the end of the festival run that you'll be able to put it on, you'll be able to put it online, right?
That's right. Yeah, definitely want people to see it, of course.
Well, I feel like if you can take the two guys talking in a room and make that compelling and dramatic and funny and emotional, that really is a testament to amazing filmmaking, and especially the performances from both Richard and Skipp. It's really fantastic work. And as much as what's happening and what the characters are experiencing in the disaster that their situation is maybe somewhat like this podcast right now with all of our issues that we're experiencing. It just happens sometimes.
It does.
Sometimes.
World.
It's the new world. But I thank you so much for joining us on the Film Threat podcast. Congratulations on the short. Skipp and Richard, you guys are amazing. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to me about Sean's film. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. And I also want to thank our sponsor, Storyblocks. Go to storyblocks.com/filmthreat. They're a sponsor that allows us to do this. So I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Richard.
Thanks, Chris.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Skipp.
You guys are awesome.
Take care, you guys.